Tomorrow's Christmas. No, really, tomorrow's Passover. Man, we move into Easter. So, when you think of Easter, you really don't think of Christmas or the nativity scene. But actually, they're one and the same. You see, the hills in Bethlehem, they were home to hundreds of sacrificial lambs. Bethlehem had a system of caves set up where the male lambs would be born and looked over by the shepherds to make sure that they didn't have any blemishes, they didn't hurt themselves or anything. And these shepherds would have been young male priests that were fully aware of their role in taking care of these sheep through the Old Testament. The rules set up there through the Old Testament, and they would have been guarding their flocks or watching over their flocks. So if you mention the word Bethlehem to anyone back then, they would immediately know you were talking about sacrificial lambs. And the most common use of these lambs born in Bethlehem would be lambs born for the Passover sacrifice. So the shepherds would actually be shepherd priests. They would be assigned from a young age to keep watch. And according to Jewish Mishnah, when the lambs were born, they would immediately be wrapped in swaddling cloths to keep them from getting any harm to themselves, so they could never have like any blemishes or anything on. Now it gets a little more Christmassy. Jewish tradition, they believe that great men were born and died on the same day, that they lived a complete circle. They had a whole life without any fractions. And because Passover is held on the 14th of the month, the feast would be referred to as the quarter decimal. Paul mentions Passover presumably celebrated according to the local calendar in Corinth Tertullian, who lived in Latin-speaking North America, and gives the date of the Passion celebration as March 25th. So we see that Jesus would have then been considered to have been conceived on March 25th and died on March 25th. Now the date of the Passion would have been moved to Good Friday in 165 when Pope Soter created Easter by reassigning the resurrection to a Sunday. According to the calculations of the quarter decimal hypothesis, the celebration of the quarter decimal feast became associated with Good Friday and Easter. So, like I point out in the beginning, the shepherds would have been watching their flock in the hills of Bethlehem. In the Nativity, the angels show up and announce the birth of Jesus to the shepherds who were guarding their flocks. Christ, we know, was wrapped in swaddling cloths. And the other cooler thing is that for Jesus to become king of everything, to have the rightful heir to it, he would have been an heir to King David, and King David would have been looking over sacrificial lambs, which I think is really neat. So, Easter, Christmas, Easter, through the Bible and through history, that Christmas is Passover and Passover is Christmas, and all these things just get changed around through church theology and customs and beliefs. So have fun with that. I hope you enjoy.